Yeah, so the biggest thing that you need to understand is, businesses don't know who you are and what you do. They don't know how credible you are. So it's important that when you're setting up your business credit and you're setting up your business period, that you're setting it up as professional as possible to give you the best chance to use somebody else's money, essentially use the bank's money. So in order to do that, you need to make sure you have a couple things in place. You need to make sure you have your EIN, articles, all that stuff established. But you need to also make sure that you have a professional address. You don't want a PO box. You don't want your house address on. You don't want it on your business because your house is dedicated towards you. And just like you are an entity having your own social security number, your business has its own social security number, EIN. So it needs its own place of location. So you need to have an established place of your business. So like virtual addresses are pretty good to where you can send your mail. They have one here in Detroit. It's Bamboo. There's a few that I'm sure you can search on like realtor.net or something like that to find like different virtual addresses. They're pretty cheap, like 40 to 60 bucks a month. I wouldn't recommend going over that. Um, Business phone number two is what you need. You can use Freedom Voice. They give you a fax number as well. You can hook it up to your phone. You use GoDaddy. Whatever you find is most convenient or in your alley of what you prefer as far as provider. Um, you need to also make sure you have your DUNS number. Your DUN Data Universal number. You can get that on duns.com. And one tip that I do recommend in order to get your DUNS number back the same day, say that you're doing it for government contracting. So when you go and apply on dnb.net or .com, it'll ask, what do you need the number for? And they'll say like you need it to set up a new business or you need it for government contracting or and there's like two other options. If you do for government contracting, they'll give you the number back the same day versus if you do it for a new business, it'll take a couple days for them to approve it and there'll be an egregious document process rather than if you just click, rather than you just clicking, I need it for government contracting, they'll just give it to you the same day. Number three or number four, I can't remember the number anymore. You need a business bank account. So whatever financial institution that you choose to go with, it's up to you. I always recommend that you get a credit union, a national bank, and then also a regional bank. So like a Citizens, Bank of America, and maybe like a Genesis Credit Union or a Navy Federal, whatever you prefer. And then always remember when you're opening banking accounts, whether you're doing funding for your personal or your business, that banking accounts, checking accounts are a great way to establish relationships with bank because people like to do business with people that they know. So having a relationship like a checking account, put money here and there in it. Those are the types of things you need to make sure that'll help your case and, when you're going out for funding for your business and things like that. So those are the four biggest things you need to focus on. And then also when you get all those established, you need to essentially track your credit score. So then the way that we typically track it now, we use FICO and, different credit apps like Credit Karma. But for business credit, the main one that they use is nav.com. You can just, you'll basically go in there, search up your business, and you'll basically claim that business, and it'll give you all the credit information regarding your business. And then also another one is Tilful. I'm not too familiar with it, but I know it is a free option that you can use. They'll generate your paydex score as well. So your paydex score is unlike your personal credit score. It's on a scale from 0 to 100. You need at least 5 trade lines to report for it to generate a score. And Nav basically gives you all the credit scores for your business, your FICO, your Experian, your and your DUNS score. It'll also include some personal credit options if you choose to go to that plan as well. But those are the 5 main things that you need in order to start establishing business credit. And then if you want to you want to go for like the larger lines of credit, you do need to focus more on your personal credit to get essentially true business credit. Because they figure that if you have good personal credit, you have good business credit. If you don't have good personal credit, then they won't give you any to no business credit. So those are the 5 main things. And then, making sure your personal credit score is tip top shape so that you can go off for funding for your business.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. The first question I have to follow up to everything you just said is one in regards to like the bank account. I know sometimes starting as a small business, I mean just not say small business, but as a business in general, fundings are not like trying to put money into different accounts is not the most flexible thing for some people. So how would you tell somebody to go about that? Should they just open it as they start to go in revenue, or like what's the best way for someone like that who doesn't have that much cash on hand?
I would say when you're starting out, it's good to go with banks that don't have a minimum deposit and a minimum fee. So, like your Citizens, like your credit unions, they most likely don't require you to ever have a minimum in the account. You can put like $5 in it. But like for your Bank of Americas and your Chase, the people that are basically the giants in the banking space, the financial institution space, they're going to require for you to have a minimum deposit. So that's why I recommend you only get like one. That's why I said one of each. So you don't have to get like a Chase, a Bank of America, and a Wells Fargo. That way you're not having to manage 3 monthly payments or three minimum balances of like $150. Um, so yeah, you want to just make sure. I would just when you're starting off and you ain't got much. Just go with the banks that don't require a minimum deposit or don't have like an annual fee or anything like that. So that those, because they rack up, and those requirements, they can be cumbersome for smaller businesses that are just starting out. So just any bank that doesn't have an annual fee, like I said, that are usually your credit unions and like your Citizens, Key Bank, stuff, banks like that.
Right. And you said something earlier too about trade lines, like 5 different trade lines. Can you go into more details about trade lines and how someone can get trade lines for the business?
Yeah, so similar to in your personal name, trade lines are just just the line of credit that's extended or the account that's extended to you or your business. So in business credit, using your EIN only, seeing that with personal credit you put your social security. For your business credit, you use your EIN, and you can get what you call different net 30 accounts. So these are basically accounts that you can establish with different financial institutions or different, just like privately owned companies like Granger, Quill, Uline, those types of businesses. Uh, you can establish what you call trade lines or net 30 accounts with them, um, to basically, get their supplies, and they'll basically report, your on-time payments to the different bureaus. Some report to some bureaus, some report to others. You just kind of do research, but each of you can establish those accounts with those vendors and different net 30 accounts, and they'll report them to your business credit, thus helping you build a score and build your credibility to continue to grow your lines of credit and continue to open the door for different opportunities for different cards and lines of credit for your business. But you do need at least three. You need at least 3 to 6 to generate a score, or 3 to 5. I'm sorry, to generate a score. And if you have less than three, then it won't generate a score at all. And for most of these net 30 accounts, you have to spend at least $60 on these to establish these accounts and for them to report. Now, for the most part, on most of those sites like Uline, Granger, they're not really stuff. It's not really stuff that's too interesting. It's not stuff that you can use. Nothing's really sexy about it. It's just really batteries and toilet paper, maybe stuff that you could buy for your house might be useful. But we're just using it to establish these accounts to open doors for different opportunities for funding and getting a hold of other people's money to then invest and do what we have to do for us in our business. So, don't see it as pointless. But I will say, as you're going into these sites and finding these different vendors that let you get net 30 accounts, you'll find that some of the stuff on there is like, I don't really use this. But trust me, it's you'll be using it for greater good to establish your credit and build credibility to open up more opportunities for you and your business.
Right. So you basically just understand what you said. So you need 3 to 5 to generate a business credit.
Yep. So
Um,
Crown Office Supplies, you can use Suma Office Supplies, Uline Granger, Strategic Network Solutions. There's a lot of them out there. You can just Google them, and they'll pretty much come up. But those are just the most popular ones. Ooh, excuse me.
No problem. Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you.
So my next question with these trade lines is this: how long does it take for the score to generate? Is this something you gotta do continuously every month, randomly go on these websites, or just a one
You
time?
just yeah, you just have to do it once for it to generate a score. Um, and then when you generate the score, you're pretty much good. Now, some of the accounts you do have to keep up to date in order for for them to keep reporting. But for the initial process for building your credit, you just have to use it once. But it's good it's important that you keep the momentum going, so you don't have to keep opening these accounts. So when you do the Quill, the Uline, the Granger, and they generate a score, you want to move on to the other accounts and start opening, different other accounts that continue to build your score to get different opportunities. Because if not, then they'll fall off eventually. Some of them do. You just have to do your research, and then you can pretty much build your credit that way.
All right. So I guess let's going back to for someone who has like a small, cash with they also trying to focus on building business credit, business trade line. I know for example with Suma, you have to spend like $80 for it to report in your business report. You say you need three, so that's Suma. Quill, I think you spend like 100 plus, and 100 plus, 100 initially. They get spend whatever after that. And so, how can somebody manage all these different expenses? Is there a way to go around all these different expenses, or is it just something you just gotta bite the bullet and just do it?
Well, yes and no. You sometimes you do have to bite the bullet, or you can there's like different gas cards and you can get that require like down payments and stuff that'll do the same thing. They'll report, but they'll give you your money back. But honestly, these minimums were way cheaper before. I think it's just because people are just getting more into it. A lot more people are becoming more conscious about business credit and non and net 30s, that they're kind of cracking down, or the qualifications are kind of getting high. Because when I was first doing Quill, I was able to get the account the same day. I didn't have to even do a minimum. And when I did the minimum on the site, when I got the account, and then I was just able to do it from there. And now you got to order something, and then after you order something, then they'll extend you the account. But before before everybody got hip to or understood what business credit was and the opportunity in it, I feel like that's when they started cranking down. So now and that just comes with trends. And when us as people get a hold of the information, they just kind of put barriers and things like that. So in a case like this, I would say yes, you'll have to bite the bullet and kind of take the brunt. But like I said, in the long term, it'll be well worth it. As you're getting larger lines of credit with different financial institutions for a little, $200-300 investment for your business, just to get it kind of going and build your credibility. So I would say bite the bullet. If $400 is going to stop you is you don't